My band teacher, we were talking one time and he was telling me, he goes, of all the students I've ever given jazz band, that I'm the only one to ever reject it. Or not only one, but like one of the only ones to ever reject it, because I got offered it as a sophomore. I said, nah.
Show the camera a little bit.
I'll show you guys a bit, but this guitar has a little seam line in the middle, and this means it was two pieces of wood pushed together and just glued.
Do you think back in like the 70s, they were just figuring things out too? Like when they started doing all this music?
It all started, like a little music history.
Yeah, let's hash it out! This is pretty comfortable.
I'm not gonna play that, that'll be copyright.
Oh man, dude, I love this rocking chair. Besides this, it's a nice little rocking chair.
But yeah, I was gonna tell you this. This guitar's cool because in all your electrics, you have different kind of pickups. So the most common ones are single, coil, and humbuckers. And these are humbuckers, so they have a thicker sound and a more meaty sound. But what's cool about this guitar is this little, they call them pots, but it's like a tone knob. This pulls out. So when you pull that out, it splits this in half and cuts out one of the pickups, so it's a single coil. So I could do versatile. So if I want to play something like heavier, kind of like a...
Oh, wow.
Like that, and then if I pull it out and like twist it a little bit, it goes like... It's like rough, but you know, it there we go. See how it's like a bit brighter than it is when you have it.
Wow.
You can hear like the difference.
Yeah. You don't have a whammy on there to do...
Not on this, no. I have a Stratocaster at home I'm rebuilding. That has a whammy, and that thing goes... It's like cool. I got pickups from... got Fender Mexico pickups in there. Costing like $120 each. It's expensive, but I'm rebuilding it by hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guitar is a nice little one. Made in California.
Wow.
Made 2012. 2012 is when this one was exactly made, I believe. See how like it has a 12 up here? Yeah. That's the year. Made in, it says crafted in Indonesia, but you know, that was all put together in California. But I believe, I could be wrong, but yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool little thing about electrics. Yeah. And this is called a switch selector, but my bottom one's broken. So I have to do just the top one, which I hate, but it's all right. So
many questions.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's exciting. Well, I'm going to get started with the intro.
Okay.
So, welcome back to the Hash It Out podcast. I'm the crispy man with no tan, Hash Brown, and today is with me. It's my buddy Andrew. I met him at work, and we just picked up on conversations on music. Yeah. I know nothing about music. He's self-learned everything on the guitar, which amazed me because he's way younger than I am, about 10 years younger than me. And I don't even know how to play this. So he's, over the podcast, going to share his knowledge and wisdom with me of his self-taught guitar skills. So how's it going, Andrew? Let's introduce yourself a little bit.
Hello, I'm Andrew Tabor. I am a musician. I'm multi-instrumental. I play in a band named Rosary. If you want to go listen to any of our music, just look up Vertigo Rosary, and you should see a single up there. Yeah. We're going to have more music coming out soon, but honestly...
where can we find you?
You can find me anywhere. You can find us anywhere. Like
Facebook,
when you're going to listen to music, if you're like Spotify, YouTube, find it on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. Okay. And then if you want to see us live, we play a lot at Max Bar in Lansing, and we're gonna start playing new places too. So hope to see people there.
Good deal. Well, awesome, my man. This is gonna be the best video quality ever. And audio quality, thanks to my boy Marco. Shout out, Marco.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, I learned a lot from my last video production thing. Like, it was terrible. But now I'm just using my cell phone, so hopefully nobody calls me or texts me or anything. So it'll just be perfect audio quality and everything. And yeah, man. So as I was telling you, man, I know nothing about guitars. Like, let me give you a little bit of backstory. I'm a little bit of a talker here.
Oh, it's all right.
So the reason why I got this guitar was because way back, I think it was like 2018, I wanted to do an instrument because I was working in a factory and I was bored. And I was like, what better instrument to learn than, I don't know, a guitar. It'll get me like in the direction I want to go, which was nowhere. Because I wanted to learn how to play a violin, but I don't know why I thought guitar would be the gateway, because in my mind, they were similar, but they're not. You know, like they look the same, but one's smaller and does different things. You know, you get it. And so that was my mindset back in 2018. It's like, I'll just learn a guitar and then I'll learn a violin because that makes sense. And I never picked up the guitar ever since I bought it. I watched like some YouTube videos about like the certain like strings and whatnot. I tried to play Smoke on the Water, and then I just lost patience because I just didn't have the factor of want to play. It was just kind of like a desire. It was like, let's do this. Yeah,
that's how we all start. We all just want to pick up something. Personally, I started differently. Like in school, I joined band in the 5th grade, and I picked up trumpet, played that for a while. Then it was, I believe, maybe the 8th grade, my trumpet broke. So I had to learn a new instrument. So I picked up an instrument called a baritone, which is like, it's kind of like in between a trumpet and a tuba, or like a trombone and a tuba, like right in between. So I learned that. And then I realized, wow, I could actually learn more. And my band teacher needed somebody to like play piano for one of our concerts. And I said, let me go. And a few other people wanted it too, so we all had to go against each other in a way and like show them who has more of a way
Who's the master pianist.
So we did, and I eventually got it, and I started learning, and piano was just like a whole new world for me, because instead of playing like something like this, you're going like this, and you're using different hands. Yeah. So further that onto, I just stayed all those instruments, and music started to pick up on me. Then COVID hit, right? Yeah. You know, you're at home.
You were still in school during that time.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school when COVID hit, and I did my sophomore year all online. Yeah. So I was going through a breakup at the time, and I was listening to a lot of music, and I was like 50s to now, like people from like Buddy Holly, and then like a guy who makes music nowadays named Quinn 92. It's like pop music. And I wanted to learn their music. And Buddy Holly, I watched videos of him, and he was playing this guitar, and I was looking at it. He's just going crazy on it. And I was like, this is the 50s, and this guy's just like, what's up with this? And he had like an energy. So what really made me want to learn guitar was watching him. And I had like a little Guitar Hero guitar. Didn't have the game or nothing, but I'd act like I was playing it.
That's where it all starts.
Yeah. I'd act like I was playing it, and I just eventually was like, I need to get a guitar. So I went online, went to Guitar Center, got a like $220 like starter kit thing for an electric. Still have that electric to this day. I'm rebuilding it to make it a bit better. Wow. And it all started from there. It's been a journey. I've had few people like with me through the whole thing, and they're just like amazed for how quickly I could pick it up. Yeah. But all guitarists learn different ways. Like more famous people like Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, they all learned with like a pick and all that. But my background with piano helped me with finger picking. So I know more, I know a lot of folk music. So instead of like playing super fast stuff like everybody else does, I'm playing more of like a, just kind of like melodic. Tiny song. Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, no, hopefully today we could get you to learn at least one chord or something, you know? But yeah.
I realized throughout my entire school year, like when they make you do the music class
Yeah.
and they have you play the recorder, the hot cross buns,
Yeah.
and all that stupid Merry Little Lamb and all that stuff. I was just never good at reading the notes and stuff. Like the lady could explain it to me a million times over. It's just my mind could not. It was like mathematics. I couldn't read it, at the time. And maybe if I were to practice now or go back and learn it again, or even just like slowly start attempting it, like I could. But like I just felt like at that time in my life as a kid, I just was not musically inclined.
Yeah.
It was like you pick it up naturally. Like I feel like my brother, he picked up art naturally. My sister, they both picked up art naturally to where I was just not coordinated as they were, or with music, I always made the excuse of like not being coordinated, and I just didn't have the patience for it.
Yeah. As a kid, it's hard to always want to, because like originally I didn't want to play music because obviously you're forced to play recorder, and I was like, I don't want to play this thing. It's stupid.
It sucks.
And it's all just about really like what you like. If I don't know, there's just like a little spark in me, I guess. But, with guitar, you don't have to read notes, honestly.
Yeah.
You could just learn chords and strum if you want, or if you want to go far enough to learn something called tabs, which is just like a little chart, and it tells you which note, like which fret, like. So on guitar, you see how you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, and it goes on. Those are called your frets.
Okay.
And so like it'll say like play 7th fret, which is like right here, 7th fret to 5th fret, and it'll tell you which strings to play and what fret and how to do it. So that's kind of an easier way a lot of guitarists learn. I know how to read music because I was in jazz band and I had to learn. I didn't want to, but I did.
Did they was that like an elective that you took?
Yeah, it was an elective I took. Yeah, I was actually my band teacher. We were talking one time and he was telling me, he goes, of all the students I've ever given jazz band, that I'm the only one to ever reject it. Or not only one, but like one of the only ones to ever reject it, because I got offered it as a sophomore. I said, nah. and it was like it was
man.
So in like school, you have the 3 different band classes. We had concert band, symphonic band, and jazz band. Jazz band was the highest one you could get in. And like the fact they were just like, come on, join us. I was like, nah. I'm good. I'll join next year.
I feel like that's how it is with every kid. Like somebody sees talent in something, or in you or in me, and they're like, you should really pursue this. Because like something similar like that happened to me, not with music, but with running. Like I was a good runner, which I was just doing what I was told in PE class. I didn't really care. But one of the teachers was walking by and he's like, he saw something in me. And then in the middle of the class the next day, he stops everybody and then just like singles me out. And he's like, you know what that sign means? And I was like, no. And he's like, it's cross country and you got it. And I was like, what's cross country? And he's like, you should join cross country. And for the longest time, I refused to run because I was like, that's stupid. Why would you just run? Yeah. Well, they suckered me in with this girl I had a crush on. Like, she's doing it. And I was like, all right, 7th grade year old me, I think I was like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that's what I did. Oh, no, I wasn't 13. I was like 12.
11, I think you were like 12. 12
or 13, somewhere around there. And they suckered me in there. And then I just actually liked cross country because it just socializing. You don't really try that hard. You just run.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to get good at it, you can run. Anyway, but like, somebody saw something in you. That's what I was getting at. Like, and then you just project it at first because you don't see it yet,
Yeah. Was for you running in cross country, was that like the people also motivated you like as well? Yeah, a little bit. Like, I feel like maybe it was like the support I got from my family. And then like the big crowd, because you get hyped up when you see people. And you're like, oh, and then you go around the corner. You're like, why did I do that? Yeah, yeah. That's the same way with music for me. So I can understand that. Like my bandmates, I joined that band, and I was like, I know more than these guys. I was like cocky in a way, and then seeing like my guitarist, and he was all self-taught, and not ever been in a band class except for like the last year and a half of school. Yeah. He joined a band class, and that's how him and I really got to playing together. And then my drummer's just like, I remember when I started, I was just like, man, I don't know about this guy. You know, he's not the greatest. And I was being judgy, and those two guys really motivated me to get out of my comfort zone. Fortunately, I learned bass. That was not my original goal. My original goal was play bass for a bit, then find a real bass player, and then play lead guitar.
Okay.
But it didn't end up working out, and we had a cool vibe, so that's what we're staying at right now. But yeah, no, I get that. There's always people around that motivate you to want to do better in whatever you're doing. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
It wasn't until like my 9th grade years when I actually started trying. Yeah. It was the girl that I liked actually left. Like she just dipped out. But then it substituted with somebody else, like a friend of mine. Like he and I met through track. And then he joined cross country, after. And then we're like, hey, man. And we just like started competing with each other, like friendly competition. Like he ran faster than me, so I'd try to keep up. And it was just kind of like that throughout the whole way. And it was just kind of like the friendly competition. I'm still friends with that kid now. Like he's I think the only one of my friends from high school that I'm still friends with.
Wow, that's crazy.
Out of, I think the 10 friends that I did hang out with, like one of them stuck around.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how it is after high school.
Yeah, you do lose a lot of people.
Yeah, I always thought, when I was like just graduating, I'll have all my friends regardless. Yeah. Well, during senior year, I lost them all because of a breakup. Yeah. Everybody chose her side. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why? Yeah. And, it was probably my fault too when I look back at it. But there was no like two sides of the story. They just chose her side. And I was like, wow. So I lost all but one there, and it was my friend Hermit. Oh, and Jake. My buddy Jake, he's still hanging around, but he didn't hang out with that group of friends. Oh, okay. He was kind of like a popular kid. He just went around and talked to everybody. Yeah. But anyway, you lost a lot of people and stuff like that. And you make new friends,
Yeah. I understand that. When I was leaving high school, that's how I was like, yeah, I'm finally out. And then like, I didn't have a job for a while. So then I was like, I got really depressed, honestly. So I was like, dang, I need to hang out with friends. And then all those friends already had jobs and lives. And I was like, dang, So yeah, I, recently though, for the past like 2-3 days, actually, no, not yesterday, but 2 days before though, I've been hanging out with some of those old friends again. And like, we went bowling and stuff. That's another hobby I have that I do. And that was a lot of fun. And just connecting back with those people is also fun.
Yeah, man. I feel like that's always something I like to do is one, reminisce, and then two, reconnect. Yeah. Like I notice that a lot. Like obviously I'm not going to be friends with all those people that I left back in high school, but like the one or two people, like I recently reached out to my buddy Bailey, and him and I kind of had a falling out. Like he just outright told me he hated me. And I was like, wait, what? We've been friends for so long. Like I was housing this kid. I was feeding this kid. I was literally like, I taught him how to drive and got him his license. Like he was pretty much like what you were, like, but he's like 4 years younger than me. So I treated him like a little brother. Yeah. And I was just kind of like being his wingman. Yeah. And I don't know, he was going through something. And like whatever it was, like he was just envious of me, and he said all this when I reached out to him like one of the times, and I was like, hey man, it's so-and-so's birthday today, I was thinking about reaching out to him. He's like, yeah, I don't talk to that guy anymore. And I'm like, oh. And then like he just drama bombed me, just threw out all of his problems at me, and I was like, whoa. Yeah. Like this went on, and this went on, and I was like, whoa, dude, what the hell? Yeah. And so hopefully slowly rekindling that friendship there. And I don't think I'll ever hear from my friend Hermit again as much as the reason why he's a hermit, like he got his nickname because he was a hermit. Like he was one of those shy kids. And I don't know why, but I was like one of those extroverts that clung to shy kids. Like I always brought them out of their shells, hence the name Hermit. Like he was a real quiet kid to his books and all that stuff. But losing people like that over time is a big inspiration also for music wise. Yeah. Whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's anything, that's always been a big inspiration. And writing music, and that's a fun one. That's a journey in and of itself. Like
I started with just playing chords and like making up some bull crap lyrics.
Do you remember like the first song you ever wrote?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
It was on YouTube for a while, and I put it on link only, so the people who got to witness it at the time witnessed it, and it was horrible.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, that's how it is with your first anything.
It was called Evergreens. I don't remember the words for it, but I remember like just like the chorus of it, because I don't know if you know this, but songs are broken up in different sections. So you have intro, verse, like chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, some weird thing like that. Yeah. But the chorus, that one, I think it said something like, "Will you come with me to the evergreens, just you and me? I want to be free from this insanity." It was like some weird crap like that.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah, but like the singing was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a development over time. I started out singing like really high pitched because I always do like these I can't do it right now, obviously, since I'm stuffed up, but like Mickey Mouse and all that, doing those voices, I know how to go higher pitch. So I thought like, oh, I'll be good at that. And then like eventually I started venturing lower, and then really it's all been experimental. And I was never admit I'm a good songwriter. I don't even write any of like the lyrics and all that for my band's music, not me at all.
Really?
Like I don't put my 2 cents into that. All I do is the bass line. And
okay.
all of that's
like what sounds good to the lyrics? Yeah,
it's weird. I have a thing called relative pitch. It's so you have perfect pitch, which is like people who are naturally gifted and they can just hear like Charlie Puth. He hasn't and Elton John, all perfect pitch. So like they could hear a song and immediately play it on whatever instrument.
Whoa.
So like I don't have that, but I have relative pitch, which is it's kind of similar, but instead you can hear a note and you could find the relative spot of where it is.
Right.
And I learned like Harry Potter on guitar and stuff, like the theme by ear.
That's crazy.
I learned, and on piano, I learned the Harry Potter theme by ear. I learned I'm Still Standing by Elton John by ear on piano. That's really like one of my, I don't play piano as much anymore, but I always come back to it. Like right now I'm at a phase back to it. Yeah. And I always remember how much I love it. It's like great. But my bandmate, his name is Jordan.
Yeah, I
He's
think I
lead guitarist and singer. That man really has helped me a lot with songwriting and helping me out with like, he goes, dude, sometimes the things that sound wrong are just right. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, it has to sound right. And then he'll play something and it'll just sound wrong. And I'm like, dude, you should play it like this. He goes, no. He goes, guys, just start playing and then just play what you think would sound good.
Huh, so, like an improv-like thing?
Yeah, that's how all of our songs are written. They're all improv pretty much.
And you told me you just record them, right?
Yeah, we normally just record them on our phones. Like, on my phone, I have the Google Drive because we have a band email. So, like, we have a Google Drive connected to it with every demo we have on there. And I would show it, but I don't know how they feel about it, so I'm not.
Right. You'll have to get all their permission first. You can
I don't want to do
share something. Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool because when I started playing music, I wanted to play just certain genres, and then I met the Jaden and Jordan. Jaden plays drums, Jordan guitar, and he sings too. And Jordan's very 90s inspired. He plays very 90s like guitar. I'm very 70s inspired with like bass because 70s is my favorite era of music.
I want to say you kind of rocking the look, you know.
Wearing Jim Croce shirt. He was a folk musician from the 70s, you know. And then Jaden's, he's just his drumming really reminds me of the 80s, and it's like very powerful. So it's like a blend of all those eras, and it's like it's a thing you've heard but you haven't at the same time. So it's like a really odd thing, but like being with them, like because we were supposed to practice today, but just like planes fell through, we couldn't do it today. But playing music with them every week is awesome because I learned so much from them. I thought going in I was like the best musician. Coming out I'm just like, man, I'm not
what
gonna,
do I know?
Yeah.
Well, I think a part of that might just be like your age. You're 18, you just graduated, you feel invincible, you know, like I know everything. I thought the same thing. Yeah. Like I remember, and it's not something to do with music, but I thought I knew everything about life. Yeah. At 18. Yeah. And I remember Mr. Heft, my teacher, was like, he's like, now, because it's my senior year, he's like, don't get like senior fever and ditch out on track practice because you're a senior and you're not going to graduate. I'm like, yeah, right, old man. I'm not gonna do that. I did that. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I don't need practice. I don't need these guys. I mean,
too good.
Yeah, I was average. Like I wasn't great, but I was, and I just think it's like, you're learning. So
yeah, it's all the same, and like the same thing. Whether it's you think you know everything about life, you think you know everything about music, whatever it is, I try not to do that. I really in school I struggled a lot. So like coming out of like my senior year, we had something called Ingenuity, which was a online credit recovery thing, and I had an hour for that for like my school day dedicated to it. So. I'll be honest, not going to name the school, but the school just, they tried to screw me over a little bit on that, and I immediately was like, yeah, no. So I've always had to come back and try to make my own plans for stuff, and the only time I ever really skipped class like that, or like skipped anything, was when there's a couple of times, mainly when I passed all those classes on Ingenuity and I had no more credit recovery to do. That's when I didn't show up to that class anymore.
Yeah.
And then I didn't show up to some of my band classes because my friends were in gym at that time, and they all were motivating me to start working out. And at the time, I was like almost 200 pounds. I was bigger guy. And I started working out with them, and them guys have really motivated me. And now I'm like 140. And that's all over just for me graduating. I graduated in 23.
Wow.
So it's been a little bit under a year, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, consistency, yeah. I mean, that's how it was with me doing the 75 hard.
Yeah.
I used to, dude, when I was just graduated high school, I was 120.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a skinny kid because of cross country. I would eat plates and plates of food, but I would just go and burn it off and running.
Yeah.
But, then I was still a skinny kid even after. And then I met my friend Marco, the one who gave us these mics.
Yeah.
And he was like, he had big old Popeye arms, chest and tiny little legs. Literally, he was big and massive chest.
It was like bigger than just...
Yeah, tiny little pigeon legs. And that's what people made fun of him. But, he was tall, dark, and handsome. Literally, I could say that. He's Mexican, so he's got the tan skin, and he's got the suave looking hair and haircut and big old Popeye arms walking around the factory. All the girls loved him. All the men loved him. I mean, or at least admired him. Yeah. And that's what, I was like, I want to be like Marco. So I started working out, started bench pressing and doing all that stuff. And then I stopped and I gained weight. Yeah. And then I lost though. Now I'm at 190, 186. So.
Yeah, I have a friend like that too. His name's Jacob. And we've been friends forever. We've been friends since I was in Lansing schools. And obviously I'll say that since I've already said Lansing. But I was in Lansing schools, and we've been friends since I was like preschool. And he's older than me though. So we eventually reconnected. He went to my open house, and I saw him. And first of all, this dude, since last time I saw him, he didn't have a full head of hair like me, but he had a short, kind of like your hair. Yeah. And I seen him, bald now. He was bald when I saw him, and he was ripped. And he was one of these skinny kids. Yeah. Skinny, scrawny kids. I saw him, I was like, bro, you're Vin Diesel. That was the first thing I said to him.
Vin Diesel, yeah.
And he started texting me, he goes, bro, we're going to the gym. I was like, okay, we'll go. And I started going with him. Yeah. He taught me proper form and all that. And that's all been really cool to learn off of him. And him and I need to go again. It's just work schedules have been hard, because he also teaches. He does youth wrestling at a school that he volunteers
he's
at.
Like a coach or something.
Yeah, he does that. And which is cool for him because he did wrestling when we were in high school. And I kind of regret not ever going to see him do that, but happens. We all do stupid stuff in our times. But I was just thinking about it when you were telling me. I was thinking about more times that have just inspired me.
Let's talk about music-wise. Yeah, what's inspired you to?
Music-wise, it's just I'm not gonna lie, and I know this sounds like every other musician. Heartbreak. That's really it.
That's I feel like a strong inspiration.
Heartbreak and relationships. There's a band you might have heard of them, Beach Boys. Yeah. They have an album called Pet Sounds. Everybody's like, greatest album ever made, greatest. And I was like, this album's trash, I would go listen to it. I was like, it's horrible, And then one night I just decided, I was on the phone with my girlfriend, And I remember it was God Only Knows. That's when that song came on. I was sitting there listening to it, and I was reading the lyrics. I was like, man, like, this song is literally, I'm not kidding you, is a love suicide letter. That's all it is.
Whoa.
Like, it says like something like, if you should ever leave me, though life would still go on, believe me. And then it says the world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me? It's just like, whoa, it's just like, It really got you thinking. And stuff that gets me thinking is what inspires me. And I remember I had a grandma who passed away, and I immediately after, like, I was like all sad about it, obviously.
Yeah.
And then one night I fell asleep. I had a dream, and I just appeared. It was like a kind of blue haze a bit, and I appeared in her house, and like it was just like when I was a kid, and I was like really confused. Nobody else was there, no like TVs, nothing around. She just walked out and said like, what's going on, you know? And I turned around, and it was her, and she had MS. So like the end of her life, she was like walking around with a cane or in a wheelchair, like she was walking all straight up, and it was just like, it was really trippy. Yeah. And then she said, she goes, don't worry about anything. I love you. And then I woke up, and I was like, whoa, what? I was like, what just happened?
like an intervention almost.
Yeah. I grabbed my guitar because a lot of musicians do that when they're going through. And I was starting to think of things. I just started playing like a C chord like this. Yeah. And I was just playing like this. And I was like, okay, that's kind of sad. And then I went to a band practice, and I was like, that song was in my head the whole time. And
Which song?
It was just that little...
Oh, just that?
Just like that. And originally I was going to go like... just like some weird thing like that. And then one of my bandmates left his acoustic guitar at Jordan's house. Or I say one of my bandmates. I should say Jaden. Jaden left his acoustic guitar, which looks actually a lot like that. Yeah, a lot like mine. I grabbed it, and without a capo, I started playing this thing. And then I grabbed Jordan's capo, and I threw it on that guitar. And Jordan goes, oh, what are you playing? And I was just strumming that thing. And he goes, try to finger pick it. And I was like, finger pick it? He goes, dude, you're like, that's like your skill. Like other people can play like really fast. Your skill's finger picking. So I was like, okay. So I just started going, and I was just playing like that. And I was like, ooh, I like that. And then eventually this came into a song, and he and I actually wrote it together. Wow. It's called, it has words and stuff. I'm not going to sing it. I think it sounds perfect without words, but we called it Out of Reach. That's what we called it. And it was really just a basic little song, but like there's so much going on with it, it interests you in your head, and that's what it did to me, like the Beach Boys did. So I was sitting there playing, I was going like, just like that. Just playing that basically over and over again. He goes, add something else like a chorus. And I was like, okay. And then I started going. And it's just like going like that, you know? And he goes, that's perfect. And I played all of it again, right? And it just all transitions into each other. And I was like, dude, this is like amazing. We should keep it like that. And he goes, add something that people aren't going to know. And I was like, not going to know. And he goes, make it. And it just like, it sounds all lighthearted. It makes you a bit emotional, and it just punches you in the face. I was like, punches you in the face? Like, what? And he goes, yeah, just add something there. So then I started playing the chorus again, like this. And then he goes, just add it in after this. I was like, okay. And he goes, like, do like an A minor. And I was like, wait, there it is, right there. And he goes, right now. And I was like, right now. And he goes,
just change it up.
It just like punches you in the face with even more emotion. Yeah. I was like, wow.
Now you're just getting lost in the music.
You know? It like that, and he's just like, it punches you in the face and gets the emotion. I was like, wow. And I really learned from him when it comes to songwriting. And I've been trying to write so much more music since then, but like, man, he had that. He's just like, I can hear it in my head. Like, he knew exactly what I was hearing. Yeah. And that's what he was telling me. And I was like, dude, that is exactly what I heard in my head. I just didn't know how to put it. And he goes, yeah, you're really good at finger picking, and you just play off of your strengths in a way and do something that doesn't sound right. So he goes, playing the things over and over again, that's basic a bit. And I was like, okay. And he goes, and then throwing that just thing in there, punch you in the face, just like kind of like gets you from like going in to be like zoned out, you know?
Yeah.
I picture it like this in my head when I'm listening to music and something like that happens. It like kind of sucks you into like a big kind of planet type thing. You're like in space floating, sucks you into a planet. When it does it, pulls you right back. And it's just like, it's kind of like that.
Huh.
And that's how I even picture it in my head. And that was really cool. And I've been learning so much since then. I've been experimenting on everything, piano, guitar, everything. Like this electric.
Oh man, he's kicking on the electric guitar. And you don't have to worry about sound. The people underneath me, they blast their dubstep all the time. So, and it's midday. Who's going to be sleeping at midday? I mean, maybe those night shift people, but let's hear a rip.
Well, I was listening to Iron Maiden for a while. It was a very 80s. I have different eras. Like, different times have different eras. Like, right now, it's weird. I don't know how to explain listening. But at the time, I was listening to a lot of Iron Maiden, and they have, do you know the Trooper by Iron Maiden?
I might. I don't know. I'm not really musically educated.
It goes, and like, I was playing it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna write something that's like Iron Maiden inspired for my band. And then I was just like, and I was like, nope. And I was like, what the heck? And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, and then I like moved it down right here. Right there. And I was like, ooh, I like that. So then I started going. And I was like, I don't like that. And then I started. Wait, my bad. Just like some crap like that. And I was like, oh, I love that,
and
right?
That's all made up?
That's all made up.
Wow. It's no copyright.
Yeah, no copyright. I'm trying to avoid playing any copyrighted stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing I learned from YouTube, because I did YouTube for a while. And I was playing music and everything got copyrighted. So I was like,
that's what happened with the Freebird song when I posted it.
Yeah.
It said, if you do get views on this, you won't be accounted for. And
yeah,
like, that's fair.
I was just, at least for all my knowledge, that's not a song. So that's all I gotta say.
It sounded great, dude. Like you could see you were getting into it with the head bobbing.
And that was a really fun one to play. And then I was like, I showed one of my coworkers at the time. Like I was a go-kart mechanic at the time. Yeah. And I was showing my coworker who loved metal. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, dude, look at this. And I was showing him, playing. And then all of a sudden, he goes, dude, listen to this, and sent me a video. It was my riff, but he reworked it. And I didn't have it copyrighted or nothing. And he started playing it with his band. So that riff, I can't turn into a song anymore, but I did talk to the other people of that band, because he did leave that band. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey guys, I don't know if you realize this, but I have like literal proof and stuff. That was my riff, and he just kind of like took it in a way, because he was mad. He was mad at the time that he couldn't join my band. I told him no. And he took that riff from me, and I couldn't copyright it or do anything about it.
Because he made it his.
When I told them, they said, oh, they didn't realize it. And then I got into conversations with them. They're like, do you want like a certain amount of money? I said, I don't want any money, honestly. I just wanted to put it out there. And they go, well, just for you, we'll just take it down off everything. They took it off everything. Wow. It had like 3,000 views or something on everything. Wow. And they took it down just for me, and said that they apologized and felt really bad for it. And I didn't really care. I didn't want any money for it. I just said I wanted to just get it out there that it was kind of like a taken riff. And they took it down, so that made me happy again. But it's kind of pushed me away from not wanting to show anybody that type of stuff. So coming on here is like, it's not like it's going to get stolen. It's just kind of like I'm trying to think of stuff. But I was going to show you this too. This shouldn't count as stolen. It's just a blues riff in a way. It's played a crap ton of blues songs, but we have things called scales. I won't ever make you learn that, because scales are stupid, honestly. Okay. But when you're playing scales, it's like, I remember my band teacher was teaching me. He goes, this is just like a normal blues scale. Like that. And I was like, okay. And then he goes, add a shuffle. I was like, a shuffle? And he goes, something just like a... And I was was like, okay. And I kind of got into it, tapping your foot, just getting into it. And then he goes, now play that blues scale, but just don't play all the way to the top, just go back down. I was like, to the top. He goes, stop right here and then work your way back down. And I was like, okay. So he goes, yeah, just do it. And I was like, okay. And I started playing it and it goes. And I was like, oh, that was like awesome. I loved that.
Dude, see, like, maybe that's something I could never learn right off the bat. It would probably take me years.
It's actually easy.
Really?
A lot of guitar stuff you see played easy. It's just when you overthink it in your head and you overcomplicate it, that's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
If you go into it with an open mind and you're like, I can do this, you'll do it.
Right. It's like, because watching you're doing the hand movement here and also here.
It's like I told you, it's just this. You're just going like that and you're just hitting, and then all you're doing is. It's easy. It's like just two things in one. And when you get the feel down and you can feel it inside you and you start working at it, and that's when you get the... It's not as complicated as people like to make it out to be. Like piano, when I went to go learn it, everybody's like, hardest instrument ever. It was easy for me. Yeah. Like world's easiest thing, because when I learn new instruments, I go into it like I'm going to learn it and I know how to play it. I picked up saxophone in like 2-3 months. I picked up how to play it and I was playing on par with everybody in my high school jazz band. And I was just playing on par. I was even improvising, doing all that.
Isn't that all jazz anyway? Isn't improv? Or?
Well, my jazz band wasn't exactly jazz only. It was a bunch of other stuff. Like we played something called like Buffalo Head. And I'm not going to play the main riff because I don't know how that works with copyright. But there's an improvised part where you can come up with whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And I came up with a part that goes like, it goes like, it goes up. It's like some weird crap like that. I can't exactly remember it. But
and that's all like jazz, like the way you're doing it?
And you hear it all in your head. After a while of playing music, no matter whether you're... Because people think, oh, it's a gift. It's not a gift. It's just really self-discipline. That's all it is.
Yeah. I don't feel like it's like with anything.
Yeah. After a while in your head, you start hearing it and you can hear it. So like, if I want to play something like, you want to play like a power chord... Like just play some weird crap like that. And like electric guitar is honestly easier than acoustic because you could get away with mistakes on the electric way easier. On the acoustic, you mess up, everybody could hear it. So I like learned on a electric, then I started playing acoustic, learned how hard it was. Acoustic strings hurt your fingers more too. Yeah. So but yeah, no, on electric it's awesome. This guitar I mess up on a lot because actually with music and stuff, different instruments have different feels. Like on here, it has different size frets. So like I play a Telecaster normally, which is awesome. It's like I customized it, everything. It's my guitar. Like when I play that thing, I'm like, that's mine. That's my extension of me. Like I said, if I ever become famous and I die, I don't want anybody to know me for a bass. I don't want anybody to know me for nothing. I want them to know me for that guitar because that's like the one, That one's currently broken right now, but I'm fixing. I have to put like $300 into a new neck. But it's like it all has different feels. This guitar I love and hate at the same time. Yeah. But this guitar really helped me with experimenting. Like down here, where your strings, because on the back of this is where the bottom of your strings go through. Right. And it comes through to this, which we call a floating bridge, I think. Okay. And it all goes over into the tuners and all that. Mm-hmm. But I was sitting there and I was listening to Van Halen one day. And I like Running with the Devil. Do you know that song?
I think so.
And I heard this weird like sound at the beginning. I was like, what the hell is that? And I was like listening to it. I was like, how did he make that sound on a guitar? And I learned he literally just goes like that and like recorded it. And I was like, whoa, that's like cool. So I started learning. You could do like crap like...
Kind of like a whammy.
Yeah, you could literally play guitars in ways you don't know.
And that's just from you moving your
it's
and the vibration of it. Wow.
A lot of guitarists you hear play, like Eddie Van Halen, who's one of my favorites. He started on piano as well.
Yeah.
And he came up with the tapping. So normally you have something called a hammer on and pull off.
Yeah, I think you were telling me a little bit about that. You were doing the tap.
That's how you play Thunder. I'm not that exactly how you play Thunderstruck, but Thunderstruck's kind of like a like that. I played it out of tune, but you know.
Wow.
But yeah, and then eventually I learned Thunderstruck kind of going like that, and I started learning. And that's how, and like, I'm not gonna play that whole thing because that would be copyright.
Right,
but you just start experimenting with it. It's like some crap like that, and that's how you learn.
Free flow stuff.
It's really just sitting there finding out, because with music you don't want to mimic anybody. You want to be yourself. So me, I don't want to be perfect at everything, but I want to know not so much, but I want to know enough to the point where people can look at me and be like, he knows his stuff.
So how many hours do you put in your guitar each day?
Originally, COVID started out, I'd wake up every morning, start playing till the time I fell asleep.
Yeah.
And how I actually learned guitar and memorized it, I played in the pitch black. Like all lights off, all windows covered, everything. And that's how I learned guitar. That's how
That's different.
I forced myself to learn it that way. But now, since like I've been working and hanging out with people, I haven't played. Like today, this is like my only time. Actually, I think this week, this is my only time playing guitar. It's been piano this week. I've been learning God Only Knows by the Beach Boys on it. But it's like, it's a very fun thing for me.
I'm going to get a quick drink of water. Check the video to see if it's running well.
Imagine if it wasn't. Another thing with guitars, I love the look. I love the look of guitars. That guitar I actually honestly love because you could see the difference in the wood right there. You can see where it cuts off at. It's like perfect. I also like the back of it. It's rounded a bit. It's not perfectly flat. Yeah. The wood grain it's a lot of guitar is a lot about how it looks. So this guitar I think is beautiful because it has the purple goes into the pink, but the wood grain under it. And you see that little seam line in the middle?
Let me show the camera a little bit.
I'll show you guys a bit. But this guitar has a little seam line in the middle. And this means it was two pieces of wood pushed together and just glued.
Whoa.
So, yeah, and you see how it has like a darker middle patch right here? Yeah. That means it's 3 parts right here. So that means the front is also 3 parts.
Wow.
But yeah, these guitars, you have different parts on your guitar. That's why it splits off right there. And then you have that. This is like 4, I believe. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's crazy. Amazing. The necks on the guitars are also a beautiful thing. You can see how the inlays kind of reflect. And then the back of it, you can see exactly how the neck was put on right here. They all have their own seam lines, all that. But yeah, no, these things are absolutely beautiful. I think having a good enough guitar for you that makes you feel like you could do anything is main. So what we're going to do is I was going to try to teach you how to play a chord on guitar.
Let's
we're switching over to the acoustic. This acoustic is a Rogue acoustic electric. I got it on sale.
Okay.
And this might be smaller than that, honestly, because I got a purposely smaller size one because I have smaller hands.
Okay.
So,
I just bought whatever was on Amazon, and when it came in the mail, I was pretty excited and did nothing with it.
Yeah.
Because a part of me wanted to play this at like bonfires and stuff just to like kind of vibe with people because I was all about the bonfires and getting the vibe going. But nobody was willing to show me, and I was not patient enough to learn from YouTube videos. I learned on my own.
We are going to teach you how to play a C chord. By the way, you might want to pull your pick out of the thing. I put it in there for you. You just pull it out. So remember, with guitar, if anybody out there wants to learn this too.
Tutorial video starts now.
Tutorial starts now. Always use your fingertips, because if you don't use the fingertips to play and you just play flat and you want to play 2 strings, that's muted. You want to always play like that.
So like
you always play with your the tip of your finger. Okay. It hurts a bit at the beginning. So what you're gonna do is, you see how you have 2 strings that are not like bronze color?
Yeah, these tiny ones?
Yeah, they're called your B and E. So your first finger is gonna go exactly on that first fret right there. Just move it like more towards the middle a little bit. There you go. And then you're gonna get your ring finger, and you're gonna push it down on this 3rd string on the first little dot. The third string of this one. There you go. And then your pinky's going to hit right here.
Oh, fuck. How do you guys do this?
So you're going to kind of like, you can move the acoustic up and then have your wrist a little bit wrenched.
Huh. Wow, this is all new to me.
Try to keep your hand also flat like this.
Damn it.
Don't.
Oh, let me get a different chair. This rocking chair is not working for me anymore.
Oh, yeah, I got this pick at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah. It says heart. I said the music.
Heart music. Nice.
So,
this came with mine?
Yep.
I don't even remember it, honestly.
It was kind of hidden. I found it,
Kinda hidden?
luckily.
Makes sense.
But-
I never play it.
So what you're going to do when you grab the pick, you're going to kind of like curl your first finger a bit, kind of like this, and you're going to put your thumb on it, but you're going to put that pick right in the middle. Kind of hold it however feels most comfortable to you. Just tuck it in like that in a way. So like when you're strumming, you could, and remember, just strum with your wrist. Don't do your elbow, because when you learn with your elbow, you're going like that, and that will wear you out over time. So your wrist, it's all on the wrist right there, like that. That's how you could get the, like that type of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, so going back to that C chord,
Yes.
you're going to first finger on the first fret of your B, yep.
Right about there?
Yep. You could do your ring finger or middle finger. I just don't know how your hand's gonna stretch, so
I don't know, man. It just feels all weird to me.
it's gonna feel weird. Yep. Okay.
Like that?
Yep. And then your pinky is gonna hit your dot on your second string.
Huh? Where?
You see your actually no, this finger goes up right here,
Right here?
and then your pinky will hit right there.
Right here?
Nope, right there.
Right above
Yep.
there?
Yep. And try to use your fingertips. Also keep this finger back a little bit. It does feel a bit odd.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and you're just gonna just try to strum it.
Here we go. That sounded great.
It sounded amazing. And we all start.
So it just,
Just down.
wow,
Nice.
I'm learning something new, folks.
Do go each string and hear each one. So that means you hear how they're all muted. That means you're not pushing them down hard enough.
Oh, I gotta push down even harder? Oh, man.
So you hear how you can hear it a bit more?
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
dude, you gotta have a death grip on this, dude, bro. I'm gonna get cramps.
So we're gonna actually switch you to your middle and ring finger instead of your pinky. See if that works a bit better.
Yeah.
So your ring finger is gonna go right there now.
Right there?
Nope, it's your second string. And your middle finger is going to hit right here.
Right here?
Yep, and your first finger is going to still stay where it was at, right there.
Right.
And you're just going to push it down just,
As hard as I can. So you gotta have like a
And
death grip?
and try to like wrap your hand like snug around that neck. You see how it is a little?
Yeah.
And just
I
try
guess that would kind of hurt it less.
it's all right if this, wait, play it. You can hear it a bit in there. Yeah,
I'm learning, folks.
all chords are as patterns. So if you memorize the patterns, you could go, and then you could learn I could show you like a D chord.
Oh
It's
my
easy.
God.
Your fingers will hurt a bit, but
Holy
I
shit.
promise you it goes away.
I heard, when I would talk to people about that, they would tell me that your fingers are gonna like bleed a little.
Oh, I've played till my fingers bled.
Yeah,
It's
like the skin will peel off, but it'll harden. So like,
yeah, that's why the tips of my fingers are like the way they are.
Yeah.
Even this hand is like hard because I finger pick.
yeah.
So like,
holy
but
crap.
yeah, so
So you
I'm
got press down really hard.
you have to press down hard and make sure all fingertips are being used. You can like try to make sure your hand's like a claw kind of a bit, so it's all
Yeah.
up and around like a rainbow. That's how I think of it.
Huh. How
And
did I
you
do it? Like,
First finger on the second to last string, right here.
uh,
There you go.
how do you see this stuff? It's just all like muscle memory? Like,
Yep. I'm playing in the dark.
like that's what blows my mind the most. Like you were going off all feel,
Yeah.
no sight.
That's exactly how I learned.
And like, I wonder who else has done that kind of stuff, because it's almost like, in my mind,
I've never
near
heard of-
impossible.
I've never heard of a musician playing in just pitch black
Yeah.
like that just to learn an instrument. That's why I wanted to do it. I was like, well, if I become famous, this is like a thing I'll be known for.
Yeah, look back to your first interview.
Yeah. But since that one's a bit weird and wonky, I'll show you how to do a D chord, which is the first chord I ever learned.
Okay.
Which all takes place in your last three strings. So you're going to get your first finger, kind of pinch it, like not pinch it, but like push down the string on the second fret of your third to last string, which is your G.
So like that?
Yep, and just play that one right now. Just one note. Right there, yep. And then you're gonna get your ring finger and you're gonna push down on the 3rd fret of your B.
3rd fret?
Yep.
That?
Yep, and play that one. Play them both together.
How do I do that? Oh,
just like
side
this.
by side, huh?
Yeah. Okay, now you're gonna get your middle finger and you're gonna push it down on the 2nd fret right here. And you're gonna play, and you're gonna, so it's kind of like, it feels really cramped, but I promise
Oh,
it's
wait,
like.
so I'm supposed to do it.
Your middle finger hits right here. Like right under, yep. Wait, up right here.
Right here?
Nope, one string over.
Right here?
No, that's a fret.
Oh, what am I doing?
Okay, so put your ring finger back where it was.
I don't remember where it was. This is the confusing thing. Like, I'm like a blank slate. Like, I know nothing.
There goes my strap, whatever. So you're going to get finger back here.
Yeah.
Then ring finger here.
So.
Yep.
Index.
Right there. Index. Ring goes there.
Ring goes.
Right here.
Here?
Yep, and then your middle goes right here, right next to you.
Whoa.
And
all right, now I'm going to try it. You got to press down really hard. That's right.
You kind of got it there. And then what you're going to do now, keep your fingers just planted and play. You see this string right here, how it's open?
Yeah.
You just play that with them. That's a D chord. So that's the first chord I ever learned.
Huh.
And that's how I started learning guitar. That's the one I sat in my room, played it pitch black at night.
Wow.
During the day, I learned that chord, practiced that, started learning other chords and just practicing the transition. So like I went from like Buddy Holly, he would play A, which is right here. It's like a bit weird, but and then you go D, and then I learned an E. So like I've just learned how to go in between them, but I didn't start with a pick either. So I went, and that's how I just learned, just going in between them. Huh. And then when I started learning with the pick, I had to reteach everything to myself because it was a whole new thing. But yeah, no, just playing that chord.
Man, my hand.
Yeah, it's something. But yeah, just strumming like that. Over time, you learn more techniques and more things. Yeah. So like, you'll see me do this at gigs if you go to another one. Yeah. I sometimes switch my hand. I'll play from here and I'll switch back to here, and like I can feel
like I remember seeing you the first time I went out there.
Yeah, like I like to go. It's like, wait, I'm trying to remember. It's some crap like that, and then like I'll get bored and just be like.
And that's on the bass because you're not. Are you a big fan of the bass?
No.
No. Does your band know that?
Yeah, they do. I'm not a big fan of it because it's easy to me.
Oh.
Easy, but there are things I've learned that difficult. Mm-hmm. But I've always liked guitar and piano. Those are my top two. Piano was my original main instrument. I call it my original main because trumpet never really. Yeah. I never got to that like piano did, but piano was like the true start to me learning everything, and then guitar is. So like just playing that just D chord, and then eventually I started learning how to do strumming patterns, which are just different patterns with your strumming. So
that's where your hand moves.
Yeah, just like your wrists, like that, just playing like that, and. Then you could add other things in, like your pinky's free and stuff. You could add that into going, and it sounds like more complicated than it is. It's not too complicated. Yeah. But basic songs, you just need to learn 3 chords. That's all you need, and you can learn any song. Like I won't name the song, and it's all like just like some simple. That F chord is really hard. That's the one. Yeah. That's the one every musician goes, don't learn in the beginning. Yeah. That.
When my friend was doing the Guitar Hero stuff, I was trying to compare it to a real guitar.
It's not anywhere similar.
No, not at all. And, they had like 5 buttons. And I would always be good at hitting those, like the red, green, like the first 4. But whenever the orange would pop up, they would, you'd have to stretch. I could never get that. I could never get that down with my left hand.
Yeah.
And that I don't know if that's just like the pinky flux.
I suck at Guitar Hero. playing guitar on Guitar Hero. I suck.
It's not the real
because
thing.
it's weird. It's pinching that little lever, and you're just playing, and you just have to go and to hold it, and then just like I've never got into that.
Yeah.
And then like after learning everything, like I went to my friend's house a couple days ago. We were playing Guitar Hero. We were playing Slow Ride. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I could nail this, and I sucked, failed immediately. Like it's like, bro, what? It's like.
Because it's all about like the timing and hitting the thing, but it's just weird.
Yeah, timing's a thing that just naturally comes over time. It's a lot of people, like I said, music, in my opinion, like you hear it from different people. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say it's talent. I don't. I just say it's self-discipline and how much you actually want it. It's like everything else. If you want to go get a job, go get a job. You know, it's like that type of thing. And I wanted to learn how to play, and I learned how to play. It was cool because, like, you know, I was showing you down there, like, you could go, like that type of thing.
That is so cool. Like, that blows my mind.
Yeah, you could do it, too. Just, like, put your finger on this, play one string, and go. It's like...
Okay, let me try it.
Move your hand to the other side. It's easier.
Oh, here?
Yep, and then just push it. This one, you have to push down, like, really hard. Yeah, you hear it?
Wow, that is so crazy.
Do you know the beginning of, Iron Man by Black Sabbath? That's how the song starts. You know that big... That's how that is.
So they're just...
It's cool as crap like that.
Bro, this is blowing my mind. Like, littlest of things. Like, my basic knowledge of guitar is Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
You know, you just showed me something like... that I would never even thought of if
I would have never thought of it either. And another thing, like Johnny Cash, a lot of country musicians, I thought they were strumming right here, but they were down here. That's how you get the twangy sound. So like I'd be watching them and be like that, but like hopefully, but yeah.
So like everything matters.
It's all about anything. So like on acoustic guitar, you know how you have the hole right here? That's where you mainly want to strum when you want like a big,
because that's what gives it
that's where the sound goes in. You want you could play, but then you could also play. It's a little bit quieter, faint though, but then you could play. It's twangier. So and then there's other techniques like palm muting, which is difficult to do when you start. You want to see something else cool? Do you know the song Roundabout by Yes? It's you remember the To Be Continued Vine? It goes it would like have something stop and it would say To Be Continued with an arrow, go bum bum bum. It's like, it was cool. But the actual song, I heard this cool sound at the beginning. I was like, what is that sound? And I learned eventually off my bandmate, it's called a harmonic. Okay. And it's you lightly put your finger over, you don't push anything down, you have to do it over certain frets.
Here, show the camera.
So like, you don't even push it down. Like, this is just normal. Yeah. That's how I was playing it. And then he goes, play a harmonic. I was like, how do you do that? He goes, like this. And he just started playing it. I was like, you hear it's like a... Yeah. It's so cool. That's crazy. So it's like, it has a different sound to it. It's really quiet. His microphone might not pick it up, but... And then it's just like... It's just playing after that. But I'm not going to copyright. But... there's 1,000,001 things you could do.
That is crazy. You're blowing my mind.
Yeah, there's so much off of guitar people don't think about. Everybody thinks it's just like some crap. Yeah, but there's other things
literally straightforward. Like
there's like harmonics. There's so many little things that matter. Like harmonics are way easier to hear on the electric. Let me grab that one.
Oh, let's hear this. Yeah.
Real quick. The harmonics sound awesome on the electric, in my opinion. I can
only imagine.
A lot of metal things you hear are harmonics. Wow. Those are called pinch harmonics. I can't even play those, honestly. I struggle with that. So like... And then like...
The Iron Man.
Yeah, so like, you see, it's that,
bro,
like,
that
it's just so cool. Honestly, since electric's easier, do you want to try to do something on here?
I'll try. I know, like, here, you can hold mine for a minute.
Also, do you want to try this pick since it's harder? Sure. It's a lot harder of a pick. This is a very thin strumming one. So yeah,
this is lighter too, or
it's lighter and smaller. Yeah, so it's easier to play.
Yeah, I can actually see. Like, my arm doesn't have to stretch all the way around.
And the neck's smaller too. So like your hand isn't as big. Like isn't just like it's like easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
You could just. It doesn't just feel like you could just play like this more. It's just like
like that. with the acoustics with mine, it was like I was like
Yeah.
strangling it.
So yeah, you could try the Iron Man thing on this. This is easier to push down too. Yeah, isn't that cool? It's like gives you like a power kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could. There's so many things you could do on that thing. It's
okay. So I know I don't want to get copyrighted, but I think you could play up to like 10 seconds of a song.
yeah.
I want to try to do Smoke on the Water just to get
You know
it out.
what strings they are?
No.
Okay. Well, do you want it to be like easier a little bit?
A little bit easy for me.
Okay,
Like,
so
I remember one guy showing me he just did it on the first line.
okay, so yeah, we'll do it on the first string. So you're gonna play that open.
Okay, hold on, wait.
Then you're gonna go to your. You're gonna go to your 3rd fret, which also you see these dots on the side.
Yeah.
Same thing as your acoustic. So like when I say 3rd fret, just know it's the first dot. 5th fret is the 2nd.
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna go push that down, and then you're gonna go up to your 5th.
Up to my 5th, it's where
Your 5th fret is right here, 2nd dot. Yep. So you're gonna go.
Oh, so you started without and then press and then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you could do that.
Huh. Wait. This is so crazy. Oh man, I messed up already. See, it's like I'm trying to think about it,
Yeah.
because it's not fluent. But this is so cool.
Electric feels more powerful. It's
It
like
does. It's louder.
Weird.
I
It's
remember
louder, yeah.
seeing in the Back to the Future where he cranked up all of the volumes and stuff.
I could, man. If I could play you Johnny Be Good without getting that copyrighted, I would. You know, like how he goes up in the front of everybody and he goes. I played that at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in front of like 50 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Where's this at, by the way?
It's in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah, I got invited into 2 bands there.
Wow.
And I got a job offer from them too.
Wow.
I was like, I don't even live here. They're like, dang, if you lived here, you could have got a job. I was
Dude, could you imagine? Like, how old were you?
This was my senior year, so it was only like a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, hypothetically, could you imagine yourself back in like the 80s or something, and you got that same opportunity? Would you have taken it?
Yeah. Well, in like 3 to 4 years, I'm going down to Nashville.
Nashville.
With my bandmates, because
Okay.
there's so much you could do in one spot, and we want to try to make this like a career. So
Yeah.
going down there is like a very big thing we
Are
want
you
to
like
do.
permanently moving down there, or is it temporary?
We'll be down there for I don't know exactly. We haven't fully talked about it yet, but from my understanding, from what I last talked about, could be wrong. Go down there for a few years. If something doesn't work out there, go to a different state. Figure out if that will work there. If it doesn't work there, go to a different one. And just keep trying everywhere you could go.
Are you gonna live out of a van or
Nah, rent out a house. Just like
like
we're
an
looking,
Airbnb or something?
we're looking at houses right now to rent out because we're all
Okay.
trying to move out in August. So
You should look into
play.
Airbnbs. It'd be cheaper.
Yeah,
It'd be like $30 a day
yeah,
or something. Maybe not cheaper. I don't know.
yeah. It's
It might be
like
added up to a whole month.
yeah. I don't know exactly, but it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Because imagine, if you were to do the Airbnb thing, and let's say the whole place is like $500. If there's 3 of you guys, you split it between 3, and you tell the person you're going to live there for, I don't know how long,
Yeah.
and it could work. I don't know. I've never really done Airbnb for a long period of time. I've only done it for like a weekend.
Yeah. If you want, I could show you something cool on that too.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm just holding it. It just
You're
makes,
good.
It makes me feel like
I know.
powerful.
It's just like, yeah, guys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I could get all the
play-
women. Yeah.
I play guitar.
Yeah, I could play Wonderwall. But yeah, no. There's like cool things I learned. It's called like.
I wonder if you should sit here so you could like show the camera more. You want to switch spots here? Yeah. I didn't think about that until.
Oh crap! I didn't mean to mess up your whole cushion.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no.
That way, like people can see what you're doing and.
Yeah, no. There's a million and one things you could do on guitar. You said it's like first 10 seconds, right? I think of copyright.
I think so.
Okay,
'Cause
I didn't know
anything
if it
longer
was.
than that, then it's striked. Because when I played Freebird, it goes all this section is whatever. But I've had little snippets of songs in my like previous YouTube videos, and it'd be perfectly fine because it's not the you know.
Yeah.
And you could dispute it, you know, saying, hey, I had this on there for whatever amount of seconds.
Yeah, so I might botch it really bad on this because I don't play it on this, but like a little bit into the Johnny B. Good intro.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
like,
let's hear it.
It's wait. And it goes into like a cool little riff that goes like that, and he just kind of goes like that, and then other parts like like some crap like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's so fun to learn that stuff because it's all music I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
Like if I switch to my acoustic, can you hand me that?
Yes, sir.
There's like on my shirt, Jim Croce, one of my biggest inspirations for guitar.
Yeah.
He's the reason I learned finger picking. Have you ever seen, I can't think of which X-Men movie it is. It's in one of the X-Men movies. But it's called Time in a Bottle. That's the song. And it's so cool. It's a finger picking song and it's mellow. So it's like that, you know.
It had been X-Men First Class or something.
I think it was. It was like we're Silver Surfers.
The,
like
puts on the or what? No, was that his name?
It was not Silver Surfer. I don't know why I said that. My bad.
Four.
My bad. Oh my god. I know so many superheroes. I get them mixed up. My bad. It was Quicksilver. There we go. Yep, Quicksilver. He was put on the headphones
and just starts running around and pushing the bullet. Dude, I thought that was a badass.
Yeah, that's that Jim Croce, the guy who made that, one of my favorites of all time.
Okay.
But he came up with a cool song. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Bad Bad Leroy Brown.
I might have.
I don't think this should get copyrighted because it's just like, it's not exactly how it was played or nothing, but it's like has a cool riff where it goes like, wait. There we go.
Okay.
It just has like a cool little riff. Like that, and he does that the whole song. Nothing different, nothing changes. It's basic, but the orders kind of get you in with it too.
Okay.
So it's like you're listening to it going like this, you know, just vibing to it, and just watching him play. His career was cut short. He was 30 years old, got in a plane crashed, clipped a tree at the end of the runway, and just crashed. You know, had a song. I think genuinely, if the man would have lived, this is hot take. I genuinely believe he would have been one of the greatest songwriters ever.
Yeah.
There's other stuff too that's like, you know, like the Beatles, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, I don't like the Beatles, but it's just like us musicians hear them differently. So
yeah, I was going to ask about that. Like, you don't like the modern music, like the rap and stuff, because it's all the same bump, bump.
Well,
you know, like the same snares.
There's some rap music I like that just gets me to just kind of laugh, like that. You know, the Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
like against Drake. Oh my gosh, and then he, like Euphoria. That's the one I can think of where he goes, don't tell no lies about me and I won't tell no truths about you. It's like, I like that.
Like, I like rap in some sense because it's almost like poetry, and like, they don't say the words outright. You know, with Juice WRLD, for instance, like you mentioned listening to like sad music when you went through a breakup. Well, my buddy did that too, and it kind of got me into that like kind of thing. So I was listening to Juice WRLD, and he talks about being like the opposite of high, you know, in reverse. Like I don't know. It's like the way he says it. It's like he's talking about being depressed, but he doesn't just say it outright. It's almost like poetic. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
That's why I like some rap.
I like some rap music too. Like, you know who X is?
Yeah,
right?
X. Whatever to say.
I'm not gonna butcher his name. He don't deserve that from me. But he has a song called "Remedy for a Broken Heart," which is actually acoustic based, and I actually know how to play that. Yeah. I'll play you just like a little tiny snippet, but it goes like. Wait, capo, my bad. Wait. There we go. It just has that little like nice little beat, you know.
what was the other song he made? Was Whoa? It
Yeah.
was all lo-fi. And
Yeah.
that kind of blew my mind. And then he just added his lyrics to it.
Yeah. I like some rap music. I'm not gonna lie, but there's just some I just can't stand because in my head I just hear it all as the same.
Yeah.
Maybe other people hear it differently. That's all to the person's perception, but I hear it the same.
Yeah.
I love older music though, because that really gets me thinking. Like,
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the song "Blackbird" by the Beatles?
Yeah. I've
Paul
heard-
McCartney heard about the whole civil rights thing and all that, and he wrote it. And Blackbird is like he wrote it for like black women at the time, you know.
Oh,
And that's what the
wow.
song's about. That's why he says like Blackbird singing in the dead of night, you know, like take these broken wings and learn to fly and stuff.
Oh, I did not know that.
Wrote it for that, and how if I could be wrong on this, but he wrote the song, went out onto a balcony, grabbed his guitar, and just there's a group of people just in front of it, and he starts going like and like that, and he's just playing that, and there's like it goes like he's like just such a cool little riff with it.
Yeah.
And I remember listening, I was like, oh, that's nice. That was the first finger picking
So
song.
you can hear all the little intricate movements of his hands. and
Yeah, I could hear
strum it. Like somebody like me, I could hear, oh, that sounds nice. But you're more you insect the song
Well,
more,
when-
or dissect it.
I some of my friends get mad at me about that because they go, "You're ruining my music taste." Because like they'll go listen to music they think they like, then they'll start dissecting it in their head because they hear me talk about it, and then they're just like, "I don't like it anymore." This is
Right.
just
No,
like-
that's what got me to listen to
Yeah.
Freebird again because it's an 8-minute
Yeah.
song. But like when you were talking to me about like how you like the instrument, and,
Yeah.
you know, like the everything that adds up. You know,
Yeah.
but you hear the solo, the 3-minute long solo.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 minutes. I think the first if I'm not mistaken, the first 5 minutes of the song is like slow singing, you know, and then
Yeah.
it picks up in that solo, which is that it has to be like 3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like a straight solo, but some things just get you taken off, and like for me, that's older music gets me like taken off into the time. Like how some people, like I have a friend who likes just pretty much EDM, but like that EDM for him does the same thing what old music does to me.
Yeah.
So for a while, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those stupid, irritating people are just like, your music sucks. That's how I was for a while.
You're a
But then-
music snob.
yeah, I was exactly like that. And then I was just like, everybody likes their own thing. So anybody out there don't like the Beatles, that's fine. I don't care. Like, I heard a British person go, the Beatles are overrated. And I said, good for you. You know, like,
I'm not even going to argue.
Yeah, no point in arguing on that. But, when you start dissecting it in your head and you can hear it and you start, like with me, if I'm sitting there and I think bass, you know, if I think, I want to hear the bass. What's the bass line? I'll sit there and I'll think of what a bass sounds like in my head, and then I'll start hearing the bass. And then I'll be like,
because it's really faint.
yeah.
It's like the really like
Bass is cool like that because I originally thought like bass, you can't hear it. But then I went to I started like when I learned it, and then we started playing our gigs, like that first gig we played, you were at, I remember our lead guitarist, his dad's girlfriend walked up and she goes, or not walked up, but like after the gig, we went to his house and she goes, I didn't even hear your bass at all. And I was like sitting there, I was like, that's actually a compliment because you don't notice bass is there until you take it out. It's the weirdest thing. You won't hear bass until it's gone. It's like, you won't know it till you miss it, you know?
Yeah, it's like it complements the guitar.
Yeah.
Like when I was playing, this is my only reference, Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
My friend would be the lead and I'd be bass because it's slower. You don't have as many, you
don't hear it till you
notes
mess
to
up.
hit.
Yeah.
And, it's all whammying, bro.
Yeah.
Especially on Guitar Hero, it's like boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. Like it's just really long notes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like this. It's so great. But like you just said, you won't know it's there until you take it out.
Yeah, it's exactly like Guitar Hero because you know how like you're playing bass or whatever, and then if you fuck up, it's just gone. Yeah. It's just like you're like, whoa, what? And then you start playing it and you're like, oh, okay. It's exactly like that. You don't know what anything's there till it's gone. There's a guy on YouTube I watch named Rick Beato. He dissects a bunch of older famous songs. And I remember I was watching a Fleetwood Mac video and he was dissecting Go Your Own Way. And I was listening to it and I was like, and then when he started pointing out all those parts and I went back and listened to the actual song, I could hear him now. So then like that really started me listening to different parts of the song. So there's like a million things I can hear in songs now. Like I can hear the electric. I can hear if there's an acoustic in the back that's just very faint. I like. Do you know the band Aerosmith at all?
Yeah, I know of them. I don't know every song of theirs.
Well, they have a song called "Sweet Emotion."
I know that one. Yeah.
You know at the beginning how it has that little like rattle sound. It was like it's like a very rattle sound. You could hear it break. The instrument breaks in the recording. They kept it there, and it's what's it? I think it's called a clave or something like that. And you're holding it, and it has like a ball on the end, and it has like a bell on the other end. It has these little pins that move up and down on their own, and you hit the ball, and it like makes like a little like rattle sound.
Huh.
And in the recording, you could hear it break. So like he'll hit it, and it goes like, and then he'll hit it again. It goes like, and then makes like a weird little thunk sound, and that's what it was. It broke, and I heard that, and I like those little things in songs because you can hear it, and it's like a little.
So it's like they keep that authentic sound instead of taking it out.
It's like a little story. Huh. It's like a little story in and of itself. Like there's so many stories to different songs I know of how they're written, and it's just crazy. One of my favorite artists of all time. His name's James Taylor. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I don't think so.
But he has a song called Fire and Rain. In my opinion, I think one of the most beautiful lyrics ever written. Yeah. And he wrote it when he was like 20-something years old. He was 20-something years old, and he had each of the verses, I remember I was reading about it, each of the verses about different parts of his life. The first verse about his wife at the time or whatever that committed suicide. Wow. So it said, just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. It's just like, whoa. And you hear about that. And beautiful guitar riff on the back. I'll just play like a little part of it. It goes like... You know, just like that.
Yeah. Sounds very classical.
And it's awesome. And actually, a cool thing about James Taylor, he's the first ever American act signed to Apple Records by the Beatles.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Beatles signed. He was the first American act signed to the Beatles record label.
Huh.
And then that man wrote three or four of his most famous songs in the span of like a few years.
Wow.
Because he went there, wrote Fire and Rain about all that, came back to America, learned that his sister had a kid, named it after him, named it James. And he wrote a song called Sweet Baby James, which is like a kind of like a cowboy lullaby, you know what I'm talking about? Wrote that for him. But then on his way to the state, which they lived in Carolina, he wrote another song at the same time called I'm Going to Carolina in My Mind. And he wrote three of those most famous songs just based off his life. And that's why I like folk music, because it's all about based off life.
Yeah.
And Fire and Rain, the main lyric says, I've seen fire and I've seen rain and I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. And then he also says, I've seen lonely times where I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again. It's just like...
He was talking about his wife?
It was just whatever. It's like he just goes, it's whatever you think it is. That's what I love about folk
music. So it's like
music.
the mystery of it.
Yeah, it's like the mystery of it. So like the first verse about his wife. Second verse is about like him getting a little bit more religious again. It says like, won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You got to help me make a stand. You just got to see me through another day. It's like, it's just about finding that.
Yeah.
And then he says like, my body is aching and my time is at hand, but I won't make it any other way. So then it's like each verse is about different points of his life. And the third verse is about a band he was in. And I think it was about a band. I could be wrong, but it was about a band he was in. And then he ended up leaving that band and ended up just being like, he just wrote a verse about it. And it said, man, I can't think of that third verse. And I can't think of that third verse, but he wrote that song. And then he had a friend named Carole King. She was very famous back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And she wrote a song called You've Got a Friend, which is not the Toy Story song. I always have to say that. It's not You've Got a Friend in Me. It's called You've Got a Friend. And she wrote that because in that song he said, I've seen lonely times where I could not find a friend. So she wrote a song called You've Got a Friend. He did a cover of that also. I think that's his second most famous song of all time. Yeah. And he has such amazing music. If anybody's interested in like, that's my thing. If anybody's like, I want to hear something new or they really want to push their music taste, go listen to other genres. Like whether you know if you'll like it or not. Yeah. Like go listen to anything you can and just try to get a story out of it or at least relate to it. You know, you could hate you don't have to like every song from a band or every song from an era, just little ones that make you like it.
I always remember asking people that question. It's like, what type of music do you listen to? And typical, if they don't want to get deep into discussion, they go,
all of it.
They go, everything but rap and country.
Yeah.
So what else is there? Like
I actually like country.
Yeah, I like some.
Yeah.
Like there's one song I will say, or a couple, because my girl, she's a diehard for country. There's one song called Buckaroo.
Yeah.
That one I really like. And there's another one, it's called Kinfolk by Sam Hunt.
Yeah.
I like that one because he's
Sam Hunt's really good, yeah.
talking about like bringing his girl around or something like that.
Yeah.
And one of the verses that really caught my attention was he's like, bring you back home. Or no, he says something where he thought he knew everything at the time.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me think for a moment there. I was like, yeah, at one point in time, I thought I knew everything, but now I don't. And I try to keep learning things. And I was like, that's just like, there's a term for that. It's called ever learning.
Yeah. One of my favorite country songs of all time, like, I was at my prom, my senior prom. I had my girlfriend. She never had a slow dance before I did, but she goes, we got to do a slow dance when the song comes on. And I was sitting there listening, and I heard, we're just standing, I heard something, and then I see everybody getting up, and then the guy goes, you ready for a slow dance? So me and my girlfriend go out, and this is the guitar, if you know what it, like, it's just like, this is all I hear is just like freaking, just like goes into Tennessee whiskey. And I heard that, I was like, oh, it was a country song.
Yeah.
And to see a bunch of people who were just circled around singing rap songs as loud as they can, like slow dancing to that was really cool. And I remember it was that song I always associate with that memory. I could gain goosebumps talking about it, honestly.
Yeah.
But I remember because it felt like time stopped and that song in the background. And I remember I went home, grabbed this exact guitar, and I was on the phone with my cousin. She lives, I don't know if she'll be listening to this. Hi, Lauren.
She might. You can send it to her.
She lives in the
Shout
UK.
out.
She lives in not the UK, but lives on the Isle of Man, which is an island in between. It's in between Ireland and the mainland for the UK.
Wow.
And I remember I was sitting on the phone with her, and I was like, I'm trying to learn this solo. And I was just playing, and it was the solo for that song. So it goes like, and I was just like playing it, and then go like, and then it's like, I'm trying to remember it. Okay. It just heard it. It's like, it had like a cool feeling,
Yeah.
It just goes, it's just like, I heard that and I was like, man, I was like, I remember that solo hit me and I went home and learned it on this. And normally I'd learn it on my Telecaster because that's mainly, when you hear country solos, a lot of it's Telecaster.
What is a Telecaster?
There's different kinds of guitars. So
okay.
You have different brands. Like girls know their makeup brands and their different kinds of makeup. Some guys know their different fishing brands. I know my different guitar brands. So this band is a famous one from the US called Schecter. That one I didn't hear of until I got that. It was called Rogue. The main brand, I'm a big Fender fan. That amp is a Fender Frontman amp. That's a 10G.
So like the Signia are...
It's on the top. Yeah, that one is probably some like cheaper brand. I don't know that one.
Yeah.
But usually the top of the guitar say it. I'm a big Fender fan, so a Stratocaster is the one that came out with in the 50s. And it came out and like, the Stratocaster looks exactly like this, I'm not going to lie. But it doesn't have like the cuts like this one does. Like this one has a cut on the neck right here where it goes in a bit, so it's easier to play and has like a little bit more cuts everywhere. And this looks a little bit more blocky, but this style body is a Strat. So I like those guitars, some of my favorites. But then I got a Telecaster, which is originally they were called like Broadcasters and stuff. But if you guys want to do your own research into it, you can. But they're just, the different styles have different sounds. So I love the Telecaster sound. The Telecaster is a very cool, it's like country oriented basically. A lot of people play it in country, but you have other bands like the Beatles used a Telecaster. Like Let It Be, obviously.
Yeah, I love that song.
If I pull it and twist it, like I know the Beatles came up with like the Let It Be solo, like that type of thing.
It's
And
so crazy how you just...
they were just, they were just...
Do you think back in like the 70s they were just figuring things out too? Like when they started doing all this music?
It all started, like a little music history, okay? I'll do like a little bit. I know music's like, I'm obsessed with it, so I know a crap ton. I know like different instruments, different brands, different stories of the instruments. I know so much, but really it was the 50s. That's when rock and roll started. That's when everything started to be different. That's when you heard a lot of Elvis, you heard Buddy Holly, Little Richard, Chuck Berry. That's when Johnny B. Good was made, you know, like Marty McFly was playing. Yeah. And a lot of that old stuff is just like that type of thing. And then like eventually a lot of bad stuff started happening with those famous celebrities. Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens died in a plane crash in 1959. That was called The Day the Music Died. And that, you know the song American Pie? Yeah. That's what that song's about. The Day the Music Died. It's about Buddy Holly and all that.
No way. I don't know what I thought that song was about. I thought it was about a girl or something.
No, it was about the day the music died. That's why he says the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, which represents the Father. I believe the Father would have been Buddy Holly, the Son would have been Richie Valens, and the Holy Ghost would have been the Big Bopper. Buddy Holly was 21, I think, or 22. Man. Richie Valens was 17, and the Big Bopper was like 29. They were all really young, big celebrities, and it was like a winter storm. The pilot wasn't experienced enough. Their electronics started failing, and then the plane basically was in the air for like 5 minutes and crashed in Clear Lake, Iowa. They found them in the morning, and it was called The Day the Music Died. Buddy Holly, man, like just thinking about it, because like I listen to him a lot, but like when I go back sometimes I actually listen, I'm like, man, this guy's like probably the reason modern country is a thing. Like he had like That'll Be the Day. Oh my God, like that riff is like it goes like he had just cool little riffs like that. Yeah. If I could play them longer without you getting copyrighted, I would. But he had cool riffs like that, and like the solos and stuff that man would play. He'd go like, like that, and it's just like he really innovated a lot of that. Yeah. And Chuck Berry did too. Little Richard was like one of the first big main like gay guys who got famous. Yeah. Who played piano. Absolutely love him. He passed away in I think like 2020. But man was like, I remember when I first heard him, I was like the dude's voice just like really came through. But 50s had that start, you know, and then you came into the 60s when you heard bands like the Beatles start coming up, and then, you know, like Put Your Head on My Shoulder. That was like a very big song. Yeah. And then like middle of the 60s, you heard songs like California Dreamin'. You know that song? I think so. It's by the Mamas and the Papas. That's their name. I might have heard it's a famous song. That song came around, and end of the 60s was like a big rise of Motown. You know, like the Jackson 5? Yeah. Michael Jackson when he was a kid. Yeah. That's when he started coming up, you know? And that was the 60s. The 60s had their, like, it was a little bit rebellious. Then the 70s came. Oh my God, the 70s, that's when you heard metal start coming around. End of the 70s, by the way, is when you heard bands like Led Zeppelin. Yeah. Black Sabbath might have been like end of 60s, actually. Okay. But that's when metal started coming around at the end of the 70s. But then you have so many different genres in the 70s, so many songs you know nowadays that are 70s. Yeah. Like, you know, Hooked on a Feeling? Yeah. That's 70s. You know, everybody knows, technically I could say like Let It Be by the Beatles. That was the 70s. That was like 1970. That's when the Beatles broke up. Yeah. But there's so many songs from then that everybody knows. Like, that's when folk music was at a rise. You know, Take Me Home Country Roads? Yeah, I love that. That's 70s. A lot of music people know of when they think of old music, that's 70s. Huh. And then you go into the 80s. That was the big rise of like hair metal. That was the rise of bands like Van Halen. That was the rise of bands like Van Halen, Metallica. A bunch of bands.
Does Aerosmith count?
Aerosmith is 70s, late 70s, 80s. Huh. But yeah, one sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, and then you go into the 90s. The 90s, in my opinion, that was like that's when you had Nirvana. Nirvana was that grunge music. Slower. And I hated grunge music for a long time, I'm not going to lie. And then my bandmates were like, just listen to it. And I started listening to it. And I like Smells Like Teen Spirit, obviously. I knew that. Yeah. Come As You Are, I knew that. But then Kurt Cobain died. Right when he died, that's kind of when rock really dropped. And then that's like, I say 90s also, early 2000s, big Green Day. That's like Green Day.
Yeah.
Like American Idiot and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm careful with that. Like, I know Green Day can sometimes copyright, like, no matter what you play. So I always am careful with that. But a bunch of that stuff. Music has an interesting timeline. Rock only lasted like a total of maybe like 30 years, I say. That's what high it was.
So you don't think like rock is very like popular right now?
No. Not at all. It has a little bit of a rise. There's like pop rock, but like not like it was. Originally it was like the biggest thing you could like.
Yeah.
Like rap music. Everybody likes it now. That's how rock used to be.
Yeah.
And then eventually people got bored. Obviously people are going to get bored and they're hearing the same thing.
Yeah.
And they just started moving on to like, I know boy bands was a big one. Hip hop music came around. And
NSYNC.
Yeah, all that. Like, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, all that just became, everybody loved it because it's new, it's fresh to them. And rock music went on the decline. So, I'm not going into music now trying to be like, oh, I want to bring rock music back. I don't want to. I want to go into music and I want to find the people who actually can appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't hear music for lyrics. I hear music mainly for instruments.
Yeah.
So I know I've quoted some lyrics here, but those are just ones that hit me. Yeah. Mainly the instruments is what I hear. That's the stuff that gets me. That's the stuff that gives me goosebumps. It was just... Music has a really cool timeline. Really after the Great Depression, when it's really started. That's when you heard blues, really. The Great Depression. People would sit out on their porch with their acoustic and just start playing like this and just singing about their life, That's
they just survived a war.
Like
World War I.
And then you had the Great Depression. Everything just crashed and you had no money. That's when blues came. And blues and country mixed together, really. That's when rock music was born. It was blues and country. And then also blues music, like R&B, that stemmed off blues music. It stands for rhythm and blues. It's all that. It's like a lot of music stems off. Everything stems off the blues, I say.
Yeah. There was a question. I should have asked this right in the beginning, but I totally forgot. I don't know if you even remember this question. I wanted to ask you, because it's the theme of my show. Was the hash it out. If you completely forgot about whatever you wanted to hash out, I understand.
Yeah. My bad. I should have thought about that.
I forgot it too. Like, I get so hyped up in the moment of getting to know my guests. Like, sometimes I say it in the beginning, sometimes I don't. But what's something you like to hash out?
I'm here to hash out just the misconception of like one-sided music listeners in a way. And I want to try to help like those people open up their ears and start hearing things and seeing things differently. Like, I may be on here talking about music, just like playing instruments, obviously, but I know about the business of music too. I know about trying to find gigs, trying to find how to build a set list. Like, I know all that stuff. It's like, it's not all just music. It's not just all instruments, I should say. It's just that's a little part of it. But I'm here to open up people's minds if they're interested in it. If they're interested in just trying to, see everything differently, just enjoy it,
Yeah, like you mentioned, open their minds, diversify their
I think
taste.
Yeah, I think nowadays a lot of people I've come across, I'm not saying anybody who's watching this is like this or anybody else. I'm just saying I've come across a lot of people who are just like, I only like this type of music, It's just like you don't know until you actually try. So I say, if anybody here is just like, anybody listening is just like, oh, well, I only like country. But like, have you really given a chance to like folk music? Like, if you like country, I think you'll like folk music. Like, I had a friend I was just riding in the car 2 days ago. He goes, I love country music. And I was like, dude, listen to some folk music. I started playing it. He goes, man, I love this. So like, and then when you stem off folk music, that's when you can start going into other, it's all just like that. So like, I started out with Michael Jackson. I really liked Michael Jackson, obviously. Then I went to the Jackson 5 and I heard Motown. Then going into Motown is when and it's just, it all stems off that. So just having the one little leap of trying to listen to a song or listening to a genre that you may not like or you may think you don't like, and then you all of a sudden like it, that can be just the change of everything. You can, I know personally on my own level, I'm not saying that will happen to anybody else, but I had a very big, mentally, I was like very down for a while, very just back, you know. Then I started hearing music I could relate to, and it really helped me like go back. So like growing up, I never was a kid who went and hung out with people. I'd always I'd have friends come over and they'd be like, "You want to come outside and play?" And I'd be like, "No, I have other people here," but I didn't. And I'd just go in my room, turn on like Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and play with my toys. And I didn't want to do anything with anybody.
You're very introverted.
Yeah, that's how I was. And then I started listening to music, started meeting people, started like, and it really helped me open up. Yeah.
Huh.
And it really gives you the basis of everything. And I think I have a sign in my room that says this. It says, "Where words fail, music speaks." And that's I really kind of live by that. So, like, and when I say music, I don't mean lyrics, because a lot of people like rap music for, like, I know my girlfriend says she likes some rap music she likes it for the like beats, you know?
Yeah.
And then other people like it for the lyrics. Like I met other people, and my thing is, I think if you like anything that has anything to do with like an instrument, whether I'm saying this now, I probably sound like a hypocrite to some people, but programmed things, anything, even though I'm not a fan of it, that doesn't mean it's not music, you know? It's like, you know, if you have an under the table pay job, it's not like you didn't work a job, you know? It's like, it's still, it all's there. It's just, it's much more what you prefer. So yes, some people can go and try to listen to the Beatles and be like, "I don't like them." That's fine for you, you know?
Yeah.
Some people go in and listen to like their rap music. I'm not a big fan of it, but if you like it and it really makes you feel happy throughout your day and makes you feel motivated, then that's your thing, you know? Yeah. And that's really why I wanted to do the podcast, because I wanted to come on and really help people kind of open up their minds to thinking about it and trying to experiment with new things. So whether anybody wants to pick up an instrument or just wants to listen to new music, try it. Always go for something that you're not comfortable with, because when you leave your comfort zone, that's when you get comfortable. That's what I say.
Yeah, preach it.
Nobody wants to live in, it's kind of like same concept of living at home forever. You don't want to live at home forever. You don't want to live with your parents forever. You want to you want to go, you know? Yeah. You reach a certain age, you're like, I want to go. I want to go live it's the same thing. You don't want to be in the same little box for a while. You want to branch out. So I say just try to open up your ears, open up your mind to anything new, and just move on with it, you know? Just try to find anything, whether it's it doesn't have to be just music. It could be working out, you know? Somebody could be like a bigger set. Like, I can't think of the dude's name. I see him on YouTube all the time. He started out and he was like 300 something pounds. And this man is now down to like 180.
I think I know who you're talking about. Like, he was like, he was huge.
And he was really like watching his change and how happy that's awesome. I love that.
Like he stuck with it. You know, like it wasn't an overnight thing. It was like 2, 3, 4 years.
Yes.
And like you could see, like, you know, his skin was still flabby, but he kept going.
Yeah,
and now he's all fit, and it's like, is that the same guy? And then you see his head turn and his smile, and I'm like, that is, holy crap.
It's just like that. It's you could do that with anything. I'm more here to just say, try out new things in general. You know, don't stay doing the same things. You know, if I stayed doing the same things, I wouldn't be out playing gigs. I wouldn't be out learning about business when it comes to music or anything. Like it's just like my friend. Like I told you, I last saw him when he was skinny, and all of a sudden he's jacked because he wanted to go do it. So just trying out new things in general, whether it's food, working out, like music, anything. Just try anything new, and that's kind of life right there. Just enjoying it. That's how you get the most out of it, and trying to open up your mind to new things. Like relationships too. Like that's what helped my relationship, because I learned it from stemming off and like learning on things on my own. Always talk it out, figure out your issues, talk it out, figure out what's wrong with it. And at the end of the day, if you feel like it's not going to work out, then don't do it. But if you like can just sit there, try to open up your mind, try to think about something unbiased, then that's when I think people can peak at their max and just really start enjoying things no matter what it is more. So like
that's a deep way of thinking. Yeah. I was going to bring in something that's not nearly as deep.
Yeah, it's like this. My brother, he was a really skinny, small guy. Then like at school, he goes, I want to play football. Starts playing football. He's not jack, but he's muscular now. He's 6'1". He's a redhead. It's just like, honestly, when I'm with him, people don't think I'm related to him. We have the same nose. That's the only thing that's the same about us. But it's all really cool. And I think if somebody sits at home all day playing games, go out, at least go on a walk, or at least go sit outside or something, you know?
Connect
with something new, because something new is, there's nothing wrong with new things. That's my main message to anybody, no matter what it's about or who it is or anything. Just that.
That's beautiful.
So, that's my message in life.
That's so much deeper than my problem that I wanted to bring in.
What were you gonna bring up?
So it was literally like the day I was telling you something to hash out. Like I feel like I have this problem every time I'm driving, because usually I'm either in my own car or I'm in the Amazon Prime vans, but this time I was in a personal vehicle. And over here on the main road, there was construction. So you slow down like any sane person would do. So I'm going down to the speed limit because it narrows to like one lane. I get this jackass behind me tailgating me the whole way there, and knowing that there's going to be a stop sign or a stoplight right there. And I'm like, really, man? Like, why? Like, if I were to hit my brakes, something were to happen, this guy would just ram me. And then I would go flying into the car behind in front of me. So it's just like a chain reaction. And I just thought about it. So I started doing statistics stuff and reading about it. I don't remember the stats now, but not only is tailgating illegal, but it's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
I don't, like I said, I can't remember how many deaths a year happen to like in construction zones alone. I wish I had the paper and the notes and stuff, but it's at least 1,000 people a year getting either injured or killed in construction zones because people are stupid.
Impatience and anger really lead to the top causes. So.
I don't like to think, but sometimes I'm a petty driver. Like when I see you, like people come in my rearview mirror and they're like not slowing down, but they get like right up there. I let off the gas. I'm just like, oh, you want to do this now? Huh?
I do the same thing, and I'm like a newer driver. I had a lady the other day. I was going, so you know how like, at least here, like when it's a red light, if it's clear and you're turning right, you can do it unless there's a sign that says no, right? So I went to go do that. But this lady saw the light for the other people turn red, and she assumed hers immediately turned green, but it didn't. And she started driving through a red light, almost hit me, blared her horn at me, and I just kept driving.
Because you were taking a right.
And I was just driving, you know. I was like, my friend was there with me, like he even screamed, what the hell? Like screamed his head off because how close. She literally sped past me and flipped me off. And like it was my fault, you know? And
people are ridiculous.
My friend goes, man, if I were you, I would like pull up next to her, just like me mug her. I said, nah, she's like 3 minutes away from dying. I'm not gonna waste my time. So that's not right of me to say, honestly. But we all get mad when we're driving. But I think the people who really like the road rage people, those are the scary ones. I had a dude one time, like, he was behind me, the light turned green. I'm not kidding you. It took me just a second. Like, it was just like one. And then I started going because I always wait because on this road, people speed through the red light. And this guy's already behind me. I see him in my rearview mirror going, like, I'm just like, dude, it's like 1 second. Like, what are you so, like, angry about? And I think, man, those people who tailgate and get angry are scary, though, because they just... Man, it just makes me wonder if they let their whole life just be run by anger and stuff.
It is. More examples. Like I was coming into like old hometown, and it's from 55 to like 25. And the hill is there, so you can just kind of coast. You don't need your gas to get you. And there's another hill that picks up in a curve that kind of slows you down, so you can just coast all the way, and then just coast into town, and you'll be at 25. Had this jackass behind me going, come on. I could see him screaming and flipping me off the whole time. And I'm laughing. I'm rolling in my seat because he's getting so mad because it's solid lines. Like you can't pass it. Children that play on both sides of the street. And he's just flipping me off the whole time. And I'm like, this guy.
I would laugh at that.
I couldn't believe it. Like small town people, like even in Lansing here, they get like heated over something. Like mentioned the construction. There's a different time, same road, but different time. There's all this construction going on the highways, right? They closed down this one highway, half of the highway. So now they got all this other traffic coming in onto this main road. So at 5 p.m., it's backed up like crazy. So I'm down here way down there, about a mile, and the green light hits, and I'm like 5 cars back. So I cannot speed. I cannot go any faster than the 5 cars in front of me.
Yeah.
So I'm going cautiously slow through the green light. Some guy literally through the green light goes into the left turn lane and just drives around me. And I'm like, bro, you could have just killed somebody.
Yeah.
Like
they're wild. Like they're angry wild. Like,
he just had to get in front of me. That was his thing. I was like, dude, it's a construction. Like, I'm not gonna speed through this section of the roads.
Yeah.
Like he just boom.
The impatience of people.
Like went into the left turn lane, into the intersection, into their left turn lane, and then just went into the right in front of me. And I was like, wow. Part of me wishes I had a dash cam to get that guy on camera, expose him.
It's crazy. Like sometimes I have to remind myself I'm 18 because like I like to think I'm older than I am.
Yeah, you sound like you're experienced for a kid who's
I'm
so
experienced
young.
for somebody who's 18, and everything only started about 4 or 5 years ago. That's when everything started.
So you got a deep knowledge.
Yeah. And I've learned a lot, but. Yeah, that driving stuff, that's scary. That's why I can't go on. I can't go on the highway anymore because of my road test. My first ever road test.
Oh my!
I went on the highway, and the guy by the way, the guy spoke fast and stuttered at the same time. So like understanding him was like understanding him was like the equivalent of a blind person trying to see. It's just like whoa. It's just like And when I'd ask him, I'd be like, hey, can you repeat yourself? I'm sorry, I didn't catch up on it, like, nicely. Yeah. And he literally, it was like a cartoon. Like Dumb and Dumber? Yeah. How they'd lean and yell? That's what he did. He leaned and yelled in my ear, and I jumped. I was like, what are you doing? Like, that's what and then he goes, then you're gonna go on the highway right here. And I was like, dude, I don't understand you,
Dang.
And he goes, you gotta speed up. And he was like saying that, my anxiety starts going.
Oh man.
I go on the highway and he goes, when it's safely, go to the left lane. I was like, okay. And then I was like, just check my blind spot, went to the left lane. He goes, when it's safely, go to the right. This dude was next to me, and this isn't his fault or nothing. He was like doing the illegal thing. I had my turn signal on. He's going the exact same speed as me. He would not speed up, slow down, or nothing. Yeah. And I didn't care. But my exit was coming up. And the guy goes, you gotta go left. And I was like, I know. Or not left. He goes, you gotta go right. I was like, I know. Yeah. And he was telling me not to speed up, right? Yeah. But I didn't hear him say the word not. So he just goes, speed up. I heard him say that. So and then I start speeding up to go in front of the dude. And then he goes, don't speed up. And I was like, what the? I was like, my anxiety. This is how I failed my test. Ready? My anxiety was so bad. When I was stopped at a red light, and he's still yelling at me at this point. What the fuck? I wasn't thinking, and in my head, I was thinking, you go right on a red light, but I went left on a red light. Oh. I didn't crash or nothing, but I went left on a red light, and that's what failed my test. Because he didn't have the patience to,
how long has he been doing it?
He goes, that's the first thing he told me when he got in the car. He didn't say hi or nothing. He goes, been doing this since the 90s. And I'm thinking, don't care. I'm just here to try to pass my test and drive. That's really it. Yeah. I literally missed, because my 1 year with my girlfriend, because I told her, I said, I promise you I'm going to get my license and we can spend that whole day together and we can go out wherever you want. And just him getting me like that. I'm not saying it's all his fault. Obviously, me turning on a red light, my fault. Right. But if he would have had the patience to at least try to understand, I feel like I could have passed the test, because he said that's the only reason I failed the test. He said I would have passed it no matter if I didn't do that. Yeah. And it was like I was like heartbreaking, low key. And
it is. It's like big independent stuff.
Yeah, and that's also why going to work with going to Myers and stuff, working there is just hard, because I couldn't. I couldn't drive, and I needed to get rides, and then Myers didn't like that. Really? So they really didn't like that. Huh. They didn't like that because they tried to keep me for overtime. I remember one time they wanted to keep me till I think it was 2:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning.
I never had to stay that late.
They wanted me, because everybody kept calling off, and they wanted me to stay that late. I said my ride can't get me at that time, and they were mad about me about it.
You can't do anything about it,
yeah, but But like I said, that dude's impatience, just like all the other drivers tailgating or going around. It's
going the same speed.
That's what, in my opinion, from what I've seen and what I've read about, that's what causes a lot of the car crashes. It's just impatience. Yep. I just saw a dude get rear-ended the other day because the guy was just riding him the whole time. And it's just, people just need to breathe for a second. They act like they have no time left to live. If you're in the car with somebody dying and you're driving like that, that's one thing. But if you're just literally going to like work or something and you're just running late, that's your fault. Yeah, it's like, it's not the people driving in front of you. You should have left earlier. Yeah, don't blame me for it. It's crazy.
I talked about this on my first vlog ever. Was my driver's test. It was freaking hilarious. Like I told you, I threatened to kill my, not like bluntly.
It was like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, not bluntly at all. But like, driver's test, they tell you to do the parking, go forward, go backward, do the parallel and all that stuff. I passed it relatively with ease. And then they take you out on the road. Yeah. And I already have experience. So I'm like relaxed, sitting like this. And he's like, could you please put both hands on the wheel? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I forget, because my brother and we drive around for 6 months. Yeah. And so I'm driving like this. I'm like, the car I was driving was like, it was a Jimmy, a GMC Jimmy. Yeah. We used it like a tractor. So like the transmission was shot. So if you barely press the gas, the transmission will go woo, like hard. Yeah. So like I was very cautious with driving it and going really slow, getting up to speed really slow and stuff like that. But coming back, there was like a merge lane. Yeah. And there was like 5 cars behind me going the same speed. Yeah. So I'm like, like freaking out, like, like thinking what I should do. Cause like I was just going to speed up and get into that lane. Yeah. But as you know, they tell you not to. So I just went, like pressed on the brakes, let all those cars go. And the guy's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, and then I just turned in there. After that, he's like, we're still going back on the way. And he asked me a question. He's like, I don't know if your instructor guy asked you. He's like, so if your brakes went out, like emergency brake went out and you had no way of stopping, what do you do? Like what? I didn't get that question. Right. I got the, if somebody's coming at you head on, what side of the road are you going to go to? And if there's and I said right. And they're like, oh, if you're going to sideswipe an object, what one would it be? I was like, bush. Yeah, that was the question. Like he had the emergency brake and what would you do? So I was like, I don't know, sidesweep a tree. And he's like, sidesweep a tree that might cause damage to your car. I was like, I don't know, just sidesweep a tree? I don't know. And he goes, what side? I go, passenger side. Like, so I just like sidesweep a tree, just bam. Yeah. Didn't care. Like he just kind of like froze in place. Like, oh, okay. What the proper answer is, you're supposed to run into a bush. And I was like, oh, what if there's no foot or a guardrail or something? Yeah, I failed like only like half of that question like on my first test because I was like, oh yeah, you run into a bush. And he goes, how would you hit it? And like originally he didn't tell me like sideswipe. So I thought, obviously if you're trying to stop your car and somebody's coming at you head on, you want to go head on into a bush because it's going to slow you down. He goes, no, you want to sideswipe. I said, then how the hell does that slow you down? That was my thinking. Well, see, the other thing I told him was, because I saw this on Mythbusters, if you just slam your car into park, you'll just come into an immediate stop. Yeah. And he goes, well, that'll mess up your transmission. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, I'd rather mess up my transmission than die. Sidesweep a tree, And so like he kept arguing with me about that. So that's when I said I would sidesweep a tree on the passenger side because he was pissing me off. Yeah, yeah, like it was. My second test was better though. I had a retired cop who did it, and something more relaxed. I remember I was like so scared because I was like, "What if this guy yells at me?" I not kidding you. I pull in. The guy starts walking out. I look at his outfit, look him up and down. He's wearing a like beat up like orange hat, short sleeve shirt, some cargo shorts, and Crocs. And I was like, "This guy's gonna be cool." Yeah. And he got in the car and like him and I were we literally had a conversation the whole time. And he goes, he goes,
Yeah, normally I'd mark you down for going too slow, but that guy in front of us because like he was driving like a Traverse and he had a bunch of wood blocks hanging out the back. It was like, and like every bump they would just move. And I was like, I am not getting close to that. Down. So yeah, nothing was strapped. All he was doing was driving like this and had his hand on them like this.
Why?
my instructor goes, normally I'd mark you down, but honestly, no, I wouldn't be close to him. I said, yeah, I'm not getting close to that guy at all. And then he goes, that's smart. And then he was telling me that some girl was doing her driving test and got so nervous on the highway she had to pull over at one point and she puked. And then got back in the car and passed the test.
Wow.
It was like, yeah, when I talk about nerves, I didn't know they could get so bad you could just puke over the side of the highway.
Yeah.
But
my brother, he failed his test because they did it in high school. You know how you can start in high school? Like they give you the books and all that and they tell you to go to class and they tell you what to properly do through video or whatever bullshit. It was like $200.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, save your money. I'll just wait till I'm 18.
Yeah.
Well, my brother did all that, failed his test because one, he was just one of those nervous drivers.
Yeah.
And he was in a bigger town. I think he was in like the next town over and there was like 3 lanes. There was like the right, the middle, and then the left.
Yeah.
And my brother was driving out and what my brother or my dad said about it was he just froze.
Yeah.
Like in mid-section. Because he just didn't know what to do. Like, there was just so much going on. Like, he just, like, blanked out right in the middle of the intersection. And the guy started yelling at him, go, go, go!
Yeah.
like, you're freaking me out. And that freaked my brother out, too, because, like, he just never been in a big intersection like that. So.
Yeah, I say this. Don't ride your gas and be an ass. That's my saying. That's my saying. Just freaking people, their patience is just like, some people I don't understand. Like, how do you not have any patience for anything? Like, I guess some people have their bad days and some people could be like, oh yeah, I'm going to drive, like, oh, I'm having a bad day, and then like that's when they're like speeding or riding. Yeah. That's one thing if you have like one bad day, but if the people who do that every day, a lot of them are like, I just think entitled. I'm gonna be honest.
I feel like it's most Americans.
Yeah,
entitled. First world problem stuff.
Yeah, I always try to give people the benefit of a doubt, honestly, when I'm driving. If somebody, except for that old lady, she ain't never getting the benefit of a doubt for me.
Flipping you off.
I wasn't by.
Audience? What are you doing looking at me like that thinking, Hashbon, why did you pause it? Well, let me explain. So basically, in this very moment, my phone died because I was using it to record this podcast. I know, it's such a shame, but if you watch it this far, thank you. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow my buddy Andrew. He's a young musician, legend in the making in my opinion, so make sure to show him some love on all his socials. I'll be dropping his link in the description and maybe popping it up here just so you don't forget. But thanks for watching, guys.